This is the Wisdom Podcast. I welcome today's guest, Build Don't Talk by Raj Shamani. Today, this book is going to teach me what it takes to start the entrepreneurial journey. Do I need to be intelligent or do I already have something that I can use? Then it is going to teach me 3 steps to becoming rich according to American business magnate Andrew Carnegie, who once used to be the richest person in the world. And not just that, but also the 3 step process of coming up with a business idea and how to master the art of selling. In the end, this book is going to reveal the secret social media strategies of the author and his 7 income sources. So come, let's experience the magic of the book that speaks. Before reading you, I used to think that successful people are just born different or intelligent. But when I read your story, I realized no, at the beginning, everyone is naive. So would you please share the story of how your entrepreneurial journey started? I'm sure the listeners of the Wisdom Podcast will find that story both funny and inspiring at the same time. Sure, why not? When I was a teenager, I had a massive inferiority complex. I used to think the only way I could gain confidence was by becoming rich, by earning more money than others. I know it sounds very naive, but what more can you expect from a teenager? My thoughts at the time were, I don't have to build myself up, I don't have to play sports, I don't need to do anything, all I need to do is make money. So I did the most millennial thing ever. I went on Google and typed, how to get rich. A couple of articles popped up. I opened multiple tabs but ended up reading only one. In that article, it was mentioned that to become rich, one must start reading books. I thought, great, that's very easy. Then I went on Google again and searched for the top 10 books to become rich. Again, I opened multiple tabs and went through 4 or 5 of them. I noticed that one book was mentioned again and again, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So I ordered the book. I took the name of that book too seriously. I thought I will think about getting rich and I will grow rich. I read a few pages of the book and I saw the book had been commissioned by someone called Andrew Carnegie, who was supposedly the richest man on the planet. I thought, let's put this book down and read about Andrew Carnegie instead. Fun fact, I still haven't finished reading that book. I went on Google again and typed, how to become rich according to Andrew Carnegie. There was this one article that I read about him. In the article, it was mentioned that according to Andrew Carnegie, if you want to become rich, you need to do these 3 things. First, have a business. You cannot get rich by doing a job. At that time, I believed it to be true. But today, I don't know how true this is. In fact, I know people of my age who are making 10 times more money than me at their job. But back then I was convinced about this idea and that I had to have my own business to get rich. Ultimately though, you have to choose what fits you. You don't need to have a business because I did it. You don't have to study a particular course because your best friend is doing it. And you certainly don't need to go for a government job because your parents did it. Not everyone wants to have a 9-to-5 job. Similarly, not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur or a content creator, and that is completely okay. Do what works for you. Anyway, coming back to the story. So I, a 16-year-old, after reading that article, decided to start a business with zero experience. I only knew 2 ways of starting a business. 1. Come up with a product, service or idea that doesn't exist. Something crazily unique like Paytm, Uber or Amazon. Or come up with an idea that is already in the market but with better value and better quality at the better price. I did not have enough brains to birth another Uber or Paytm, so I tried the second route. I decided to find a product that was already in the market and come up with a better version of it. The second thing required to become rich according to Andrew Carnegie was to meet as many people as you can. This is the one I believe is true even today. People are the best teachers. The more people you meet, the broader your mind gets. When you interact with people, your horizon is going to widen. You will expand your mind and push the envelope. The more people you meet, the more opportunities there are for you. The better you can network and play the game in the world. And with all that, your chances of getting rich are higher. The last step of becoming rich as per Andrew Carnegie is to start a business in the FMCG industry. At that time for me, FMCG meant a grocery store. In my town, the biggest of these were Big Bazaar and D-Mart. I couldn't bring myself to go to a big bazaar because I knew I couldn't buy anything and I considered myself to be inferior. When you are from a middle class family, you feel like Big Bazaar is someplace only the rich people can afford to shop at. It is when you are rich that you know you can go to a Big Bazaar, buy cookies and leave, or you can just roam around, buy nothing and leave. It comes with a level of confidence. Until and unless you are confident in yourself and know you have buying power, you don't feel comfortable going to places that you think are fancy. Anyway, so I started going to grocery stores nearby. 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, I went and just observed people. I was keenly observing them. I was waiting to find a product that could give me leverage. I asked my father what should I do, and he said, go and listen to the consumers. You will get to know what they want and what they don't want. So then, instead of just watching and listening to them, I started talking to people who were buying stuff. And after that, there were three things that I found out. One, it is very easy to sell something if you can convince the women or the kids of the house. If you can manage to do this, your product is going to be in their homes at least for the first time. 2. Shopkeepers are the biggest influencers in India. That is why I wanted to sell my product to the grocery stores. I thought about how to come up with a product where the shopkeepers would get the maximum margin. This would convince them to sell my product. Number 3. Liquids became gold in 2013. This was true across the entire FMCG industry. Body soaps were getting replaced by shower gels, hand soaps were getting replaced by liquid hand washes, and dishwashing bars were getting replaced by dishwashing gels. While doing my market research, I found out that in the dishwashing gel category, there were basically two brands in India that were famous, Vim and Pril. I thought, great, only two products. That was my eureka moment. I was going to hit the jackpot. Then I went on Google again. This time I typed how to make dishwash gel. I found out how to make dishwashing gels on YouTube. I bought some chemicals and started experimenting at home in small glasses on a daily basis. I did not have any facility for research and development. No one was from a chemistry background in my family. My father knew a little about chemicals and he guided me a lot. Let me interrupt you there for a minute. While doing my own research, I found out something that is not mentioned in the book. Your father owned a detergent company. It was struggling to make money, and then you came along and shifted the business from soaps and powder to liquid and rolled out a dishwasher gel brand called Jadugar Drop in 2013. That was genius. Look, I brought this up because I think details like these are important for my listeners to know. Because sometimes after listening to your story, some people might get the wrong idea that they can just start any type of business without proper guidance or background in that field. And most importantly, manufacturing and FMCG industries are very tough. You can't just start a business there without some prior experience in a related industry. I personally think one must start building a business in a field that he or she is familiar with. One must have some kind of basic knowledge about the industry before getting into it. You can't just decide to disrupt any industry. So I think it is important to note that your father's background and experience must have helped you a lot. Yes, it did. I, along with my father, tried 86 times and failed. It came to the point where my father got more obsessed than me with trying to get this product right. In the 87th try, with the help of my father, I figured out a formula with which we were able to make 500 ml of dishwashing gel for Rs 45. Vim and Pril were selling the same quantity with the same formula for Rs 110. Our product checked all the boxes. Number 1, the market was moving towards liquid soaps and our product was a dishwashing gel. Number 2, the product is for housewives. Check. Number 3, it has huge margins, so shopkeepers will be interested in it. Check. All great. But the most important thing, the ground zero concept of my business idea, that my product needed to be better than existing products in the market and have a better price, was also met. From the initial stock, I gave out free samples to my college friends. The person using the product in their house liked it and I got reorders. I expanded my reach and gave free samples to other students in my college and later on to the entire college. And with every 5 free samples I gave, I received at least 3 reorders. I started selling in bulk, which was beneficial for both my customers and me. I came to be known as the dishwasher king of my college and thus began my entrepreneurial journey. So that's how your entrepreneurial journey began. One lesson that I took away from your story is that you did not hesitate to go and talk to people. You talked to shopkeepers and people buying stuff at their grocery stores. Most people are not that confident, they are afraid to talk to strangers. I wonder why that is. I know exactly why. There was a time when even I was scared that I would come off as a stupid in front of everyone. It happens to everyone. Some people stop putting out their artwork because some random person on the internet made fun of them. But remember, people can only make fun of things you yourself are conscious about. Once you join them in the laughter and stop taking the jokes seriously, the laughter will stop. We are always taught to seek validation from outside. When we are kids, our mothers tell us to go ask our fathers how we look. Right from that moment, we start seeking external validation. And that is the reason why we take criticism from outside so much to heart. At first, I did not want to look like an idiot in front of my family. Later, I was scared of making an utter fool of myself in front of a whole bunch of people who were going to hear me talk for the first time. But you know what? People are always going to have an opinion, and I learned that the hard way. If you do something, they will have an opinion. If you don't do something, they will still have an opinion. Unsolicited, unwanted, never asked for opinions. Way too many opinions. But how can we deal with them? We can ask them to get out of our lives and live in peace. The only thing we need is to be self-aware. We need to be ready to look stupid. I mean, how do you think people who invented great things like airplanes and mobile phones felt when they came up with these life-changing ideas? Those great personalities were not sure what the outcome was going to be, but they were ready to risk their public image. They did not care about the aftermath if their plans did not work out. Their hard-earned respect was on the line, but they still chose to do it, even if it made them look like an idiot. And that's exactly how great things are born. Because of people brave enough to take risks. I know that since childhood you have been conditioned to be conscious, to believe in yourself only when others do. You are allowed to feel that moral boost only after 10 other people come and say great things about you. I have been in that place too. The saddest part is that no one has ever told me why we need this. Why do we need someone else to tell us about ourselves? Why are we giving someone else so much power over us? So don't worry about what others have to say about you. Validate your own self, because the fear of looking stupid is what holds you back. Yes, it surely does. There is this one question that a lot of the youngsters ask me. They say, right now there are very few opportunities to invent something new. How can they come up with something original? What would you say to them? I would tell them, don't even try. Don't wait till you come up with something original. Start stealing like an artist. Just to be clear, I am not encouraging anyone to plagiarize. I am simply asking you to get inspired by other people's innovations and ideas. Look at everything around you. Don't you see that whatever is being done or has been happening in some way or the other is inspired by something? Nothing is new, my friend, not even the idea of this book. Everything has been done before. Everything gets built based on something that already exists in the universe. For starters, let us talk about the India's most successful startups. When we think of startups, we think of ideas, new and unconventional ideas. But do you think the idea of Ola is original? It is inspired by Uber. What about Flipkart? Inspired by Amazon. Nothing is original, my friend, not even the clothes that you are wearing right now. Because the designer was also inspired by someone else's designs. You see something new, you find out about the mind-blowing features of it, and then you add your own touch to that something. People listen to me and tell me I remind them of Gary Vee, the famous speaker and entrepreneur. That's because he's one of my biggest inspirations. I am a combination of every great person I admire, of course with my own touch. Here is a great quote from English singer and songwriter David Bowie. The only art I will ever study is the stuff that I can steal from. We all take pride in acquiring skills on our own, but each one of us knows that the only reason we were able to learn those things is because there were people who put up samples, videos, tutorials, mind maps, slideshows and audiobooks for us to learn from. None of us would have learned anything if there was nothing to copy from. Think about Facebook. I'm sure all of you must have watched the movie The Social Network. It is based on Mark Zuckerberg's life, one of the most successful entrepreneurs on the face of the earth. What does our big guy do to make Facebook the kind of platform it is? He apparently uses his senior's ideas to build his own website. And look at him today. He's one of the youngest billionaires in the world, and I'm sure will never run out of business. Or take for example the famous playwright Shakespeare. No doubt the man wrote so many plays that went on to become classics. For many, literature is synonymous with Shakespeare. But you would be surprised to know that even he believed in taking inspiration from other people's work. Shakespeare wrote his tragic love story of Romeo and Juliet only after he read Arthur Brooks' poem The Tragical History of Romeo and Juliet. This 1562 poem was William Shakespeare's key source material for the drama that today inspires many other filmmakers to create something that is one step ahead of the Shakespeare's version. Again, I am not asking you to steal something from someone and make it your own. That's plagiarism. All I am saying is be inspired and influenced by what is already around and make it your own. That was pretty helpful. The next time some Gen Z kid asks me this question again, I will at least have something to say to him. Anyway, moving on. In your experience, is there any framework or practical steps that can be used to come up with a good business idea? Okay, here is how I came up with my first business idea. It is a simple 3-step process, but it still helps me come up with new business ideas even today. These steps are for both people who don't have a business and those who do have a business but want to venture into new areas. Step 1. Choose your industry. Choose the industry that you are passionate about, because it's a lie that some industries have big money and some don't. Each and every industry in the world has some money. Choose the industry you're obsessed with, about which you read the most and watch videos of. Do you find yourself watching fashion reels all the day? Or do you read about every car's top speed features and launch date? What do you spend the maximum time on? Bollywood gossip, business news, or creator economy? Analyze that. Once you have chosen your industry, then comes the second step. Find out where your strength lies. What are you good at? Is it writing, speaking, observing, building, selling, coding, designing? What do you think you do best? And by best, I mean out of 10 things that you can do, that is the one thing you can do better than all the others. If you find it difficult to figure out what your strength is, prepare dinner at your home, invite 5-10 people you are close to, people who know you well, best friends, parents, cousins, neighbors, whoever. Try asking them what do they think you are good at. Step 3. Find a problem where your strength can be used best. Now that you have zeroed in on your industry, try to find out the problems in this industry which can be solved through your strengths. In my case, a new category, liquids, was developing, but it was expensive. So I made a cheaper alternative and used my storytelling strength to come up with a new story about fruit pulp in dishwashing gels, which soon enough the entire city started talking about. It was not a revolutionary product, but the story was new for the city, which helped me grow. One another way of going about this is, you can get a job in the industry that you are interested in. Once you are there, try to figure out how the entire system works. Try to find out the problems in that particular industry. Okay, let's say someone figures it all out. He comes up with a good business idea, builds a product, but still there is one important step that can't be ignored: the art of selling. Any thoughts on that? Sure. Selling is basically the use of information available in order to get what you want. I'll say it again. Selling is basically the use of information available in order to get what you want. There are 3 kinds of information availability: information disparity, information parity, and information overload. Sellers adapt to each to sell their products. Number 1, information disparity. This is when the salesperson knows more about the product than the buyer. Let's say when our parents or grandparents went to buy a car, the salesperson in the showroom knew much more about the car than the customers, so they could effortlessly convince or manipulate the buyer and easily sell the car. The ball was in their court. Then came the era of information parity, where everybody had access to information on everything. The buyers were as knowledgeable as the seller. The seller couldn't fool them anymore. But now we live in an era of information overload. In this era, the buyer knows much more than the seller because of the internet. Everything is just one Google search away. You want to know what other people think of a product? Just go on Amazon. Want the best price? That's available too. It's hard to fool buyers now. That's what information overload means. And you cannot sell to somebody who already knows everything about a product. Now people will only buy if they trust you. The market is full of people selling the same thing. So who you trust is what matters. The person you trust is the person you buy from. And that is why the most efficient way of selling products is through personal branding. From the selling era, you have to move to the personal branding era. If you want to go up a level or accelerate sales, you have to make people trust you and your brand. And how do you build that trust? By generating awareness, keeping your promises and always over-delivering every time. Here is a simple but efficient formula I use for selling. It is called P+E+U method. Preparation, emotion and urgency. Prepare the products, package them with emotion and make it feel like it's urgent. Think about this. Why will somebody buy from you? They will only buy because of either of two emotions, fear or aspiration. Nobody will ever do anything in their lives if there is no fear or aspiration. Every decision we make, every product that we buy either improves our lifestyle or makes us feel secure. You need to figure out what emotion is driving the person you are selling to. Either you create an aspirational scenario, like, you know what, if you buy my book today, then your life can also get better, like mine has. You read the book and follow the principles in the book and you will be at the same place that I am. Here you are selling based on aspiration. Now the second way, inducing fear. You buy my book or else, considering the fast pace that the world is moving at, you will be left behind and won't be able to get anywhere in life. Universities are not teaching you what you need to know. So there is a fear of not having a job tomorrow if you do not learn something today. See, fear and aspiration. But even after this, you have to consider the fact that humans are procrastinators. Our brain tells us, take it easy today, dude. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So the last step is to create a sense of urgency. Here is how it would sound. You need to buy this book today if you want to save yourself from getting unemployed in the future. Otherwise, the moment we see a recession, your job will be gone and then no one will hire you. You see, we checked all the boxes. A good product? Check. Emotions? Check. Creating FOMO or urgency? Check. That's how you sell a product. Preparation, driving emotion and creating urgency. Yes, noted. In the last couple of years, you have built a great online presence through your insightful and inspiring content. On Instagram, you have well over 1.8 million followers and your podcast has more than 100 or I think 200 million views. You once predicted that in a few years from now, everyone will be a content creator, either by choice or by force. So here are a few quick questions regarding social media and content creation. Number 1, how do you decide what kind of content to create? Okay, think in terms of how relatively average you can be. The reason why I got to the point that I am today is because I am the most average and basic young adult you are going to find in India. My story resonates with the maximum number of people because I was born in an average middle class family. I was born in an average city and I had dreams to stand out just like an average teenager. In order to reach the masses, you need to start thinking about how relatable you can be and stop thinking about how you can present yourself as an intelligent person. You don't need to be intelligent, you just need to be average because only intelligent people understand intelligent content. The masses prefer relatability. That was something I did not hear before. Second question, how to grow on social media? Everybody wants to know how to gain followers quickly. To them, I would say respect the platform if you want the platform to respect you. That means whenever the platform launches something new, help them build that product by doing that thing more often. The platform will organically push you. Most people grew on Instagram when it launched the videos feature. Others got recognition when Instagram launched stories. People like me got recognition when Reels came into the picture. Every time the platform launches something new, respect it by using that feature more than anything or anyone else. The platform will push you. Then when that thing becomes crowded, go with the next new thing. There will always be something new because all the platforms are competing with each other to increase their consumer base. Question number 3. How many income sources do you have and what are those? Look, people say you need to learn multiple things to build more income streams, but I believe that you should become an expert in one thing and then build multiple income streams out of that one thing. Based on this principle, I have built 7 income sources. Number 1, consultancy. I provide consultancy services related to digital marketing. Number 2, public speaking. Number 3, brand deals. Number 4, affiliate marketing. Number 5, selling courses. Number 6, writing books. I signed a deal with Penguin Random House and now they are paying me to write a book. Number 7, I have recently started a new business where I help new content creators start their YouTube channel, etc. by providing them with scriptwriters, video editors, and so on. So here is the last question. What is the easiest way to get rich? The easiest way to get rich is to become the producer of the thing you consume the most. Answer this one question today. Are you a consumer or are you a producer? Producers are the ones who produce. Consumers are those who consume. The people who consume end up spending more and people who produce end up earning more. This one question has the power to drastically shift your mindset from a person who is just thinking or dreaming about achieving big things to a person who actually achieves those dreams. Apart from that, you need to know about one secret of building wealth. It is called permissionless leverage. Oh yes, the American investor Naval Ravikant popularized that term. We already have covered the book Almanac of Naval Ravikant in the 16th episode of the Wisdom Podcast. Be sure to check that out. Now before I summarize this entire episode for you, let me tell you that on the Wisdom Podcast, I ask questions to the world's greatest books on business, entrepreneurship, and personal growth. And the books answer my questions. They really do. So on this podcast, you get to experience the magic of books that speak. And you know what? I can even invite the dead people on this podcast because their wisdom survives in the form of books. Anyway, here is the summary. We started this episode by discussing what it takes to start your entrepreneurial journey. Do you need to be extraordinary or intelligent? It turns out you don't need all that. Then we talked about 3 steps to becoming rich according to American business magnate Andrew Carnegie, who once used to be the richest person in the world. Then we listened to the inspiring entrepreneurial journey of the author Raj Shamani. We learned about the 3-step process of coming up with a business idea and how to master the art of selling. In the book, author and entrepreneur Raj Shamani also revealed a few of his secret social media strategies and disclosed his 7 income sources. On this podcast, intellectuals and curious individuals who are on a journey to become successful come to get answers to the most important questions on entrepreneurship, business, and personal growth. See you in the next episode of the Wisdom Podcast.